Hey, what's up amigos? Welcome back. Good to see you again. And I thought maybe I might update you a little bit on what's happening now. Actually, maybe I'll update you on what's not happening now. The Ironhead is still on the rack, mainly because there was a little bit of confusion with ordering parts for that transmission. So Kenny told me it would be another week until it comes in and is ready to go. And check this out. The last time I took a ride on the Softail and I parked it, I ended up with these $half size oil puddles under the bike, which is not normal for this bike. So I got to investigating it, and apparently I went 80 plus miles an hour one too many times continually down the interstate on this bike, and I guess it just gave up the ghost because it still runs. It's not broke down. It ended up blowing out the front base gasket and the rear, but the rear was already a little weak anyway. But now the engine cases are completely wet with oil. I mean, I could still ride the bike, but I don't want to run it like that. So in the future there will be a top end job being done on this bike, because if I got to remove the top end to replace the gaskets, why not, hone the cylinders, put in new rings, and the whole 9 yards. So that's what's up with that. And as far as the Tramp and the Bagger over there, well, there's nothing wrong with those motorcycles, but but I tell you what I am going to do, or what I have already done. Check this out. I put a tachometer on the handlebars on the Shovelhead. It was pretty easy to do, just 4 wires, one for the lamp, one for power, one that goes to the coil, and another for, a ground. I put the tachometer on there for one of 2 reasons, actually 2 reasons. One, I wanted to set my timing with the timing light, and so I already did that, and that was quite a mess. And I want to look at the miles per hour compared to the RPMs, and so that I won't always be running around with my phone strapped to my handlebars. So I can just also use my tachometer to have a good guess of how fast I'm going on this motorcycle, and also to know its limits. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this tachometer, and I'm also going to use my phone and see what harmony they have and telling me how fast per RPM per whatever. But anyway, I'm going to quit yammering my hammer. And okay, fast forward a little bit. My transmission came in, okay, for the Ironhead, and I can't really leave well enough alone because I just want to see why my gears are bad. So check this out. This is my drive gear that engages the second gear, and see those dogs right there? Now, this is the old gear. Check out the new gear. Look at those dogs. Can you see the wear and tear? So apparently that's why I was slipping in and out of gear. And also the other gear that gear drives, well, here's the back side where those dogs engage. There's the cavities. I don't know if you can tell any wear and tear, but this is the new one. Well, I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but these are pretty beat up on the edge. So that's that. And apparently I had to have a clutch gear. The dogs on this, they look kind of unique, except for the fact that, well, they're not really all that unique, because they got some really funky looking wear and tear. Because if you look at that, see how cattywampus that is? The new one isn't like that. It looks a lot better than that. So now I got basically a brand new transmission, or at least a transmission with new parts. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the transmission back in the Ironhead, and I don't know, I guess some of you who have been around long enough to see me do that one time, I guess you get to watch me do it again. And if you haven't seen that video, which is right there, oh well, you can check this one out too. I don't know how good it's going to come out. Okay, I didn't film this, but like I said, I already got a video on this. But in case you're new, before putting the transmission back into the transmission case, this is what I've done. Okay, I don't know if you can see. Let me get some better light in here. Right up in here, I've got my main roller bearings glued into here with some wheel bearing grease. Because every time you pull a transmission out, these roller bearings always fall out. So those are your main shaft bearings. And when you go to put them back in, you want to coat the inside of the race with some wheel bearing grease. And you just take one bearing at a time and you just put them in there, and they just all by themselves take uniform all the way around that ID. And like I said, they're glued together with the wheel bearing grease, which is pretty much the only way I know how to do that. And I learned that from an old timer who's not around anymore. But when I had my first Ironhead, you know, I had to do this 100,000 times because I had transmission issues out the wazoo. So I got really good at pulling the transmission in and out, in and out, in and out, you know. So that's that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that thing, or you know, the transmission back into this cavity. And so enough talking about that. Well, that took a little finagling, mainly because of that shifter paw that's in there. So yeah, it can be a little, you know, but hey, I could turn the main shaft, so that's pretty cool. That means the bearings are in place, they didn't fall out, and so I guess I'll go ahead and get this all buttoned up. Well, the battery died on the camera, so I just went ahead and finished putting the thing back together. And here we are a couple days later, and it shifts a whole lot better. Like always, it feels like a freaking death trap. Keep choppers sketchy, right? As my buddy AJ has said on Mayhem of Motorcycles. But it's been a while, several weeks since I've had left-hand shift, right-hand brake. So this is sketchy again. So anyway, I gotta get some gas up here at this gas station, at this riff-raff of a gas station. It used to be a nice place, but got bought out by somebody who likes to sell paraphernalia for you know what. But so it's kind of attracted a totally different clientele. Oh yeah, that thing shifts a whole lot better. Yeah, it looks like I got a new friend over there. Oh well. Okay, full tank of gas. Ready to go. Ignition. I wonder if this thing will kickstart. First kick, how about that? Woohoo! For being what this thing is, it sure does have a lot of power. It is takeoff power. It's not much for the highway, but it can do it. I mean, it's a pretty good cruising little bike. It's more fun than an Evo because, I mean, it's going. I mean, it's moving, it's going, because, well, I don't want to take all the credit because every good gift comes from above, from you know who, but he's given me the ability to at least have enough sense how to get these things together. Oh, I better not get too close. I forgot. The brakes are like crap on this thing. Old bikes have crappy brakes. Especially when you got a rear brake drum. Alright. I'm going to turn around up here. God forbid I ever have to have an emergency stop, you know? And it looks like it's going to rain up ahead. Anyway. Oh, shoot. I can't seem to get it to shift now. I'm not hitting it right. Oh, boy. Oh, it's stuck. What's going on here? There we go. Second gear. I wonder what that was all about. Got stuck in first. That might be something worth, you know, investigating. Second, first. Okay, hopefully it won't get stuck in first again. Oh yeah, I forgot this light doesn't pick up motorcycles, especially a small Ironhead, but there's a car coming up behind me. Maybe he can trip the light. Alright, fixing to go here soon. Alright. Shifted that time in a second. Third. Fourth. Okay. And I got a brand new seat on this thing. A new spring seat by Biltwell. but apparently it's a little wide and it's hitting the fender. Might as well have a flush mount seat or something like that, because I don't have much bounce going on. Really don't feel too bad. Anyway, I'll see you guys back at the house. Okay, back at the shop. As you can hear the Shovelhead outside warming up. I just want to show you guys, Softail is not in its place. It's on the lift. So here pretty soon, probably not in this video, definitely not in this video, the top end's going to come apart, and I'm going to go ahead and either put new gaskets in or just do a whole top end. I don't know. That's yet to be seen. But enough yammering. I hear the shovel sounds like it's warmed up, so let's go see what the RPMs tell us as far as how fast we're going. I hope none of these guys are turning right. Oh shoot. That means I won't really get to see how fast I'm really going. You guys don't go that way. Oh good, he's going into the gas station, and so is he. All right, open road. Okay, apparently it's a good idea to shift when you get to 3,000 RPM. Okay, right now I'm at 3,000 RPM and I'm doing 70 miles an hour. And I'm also in fourth gear. So let's see, 65 miles an hour is somewhere between 2,500 RPM and 3,000 RPMs. I've also heard that if you run it between 2,000 and 3,000 RPM, that's pretty much the performance range of a shovelhead. I don't know. I read that on a forum. I don't know how true that is. You guys correct me. I know a lot of you say that shovels are perfectly capable of going 75, 80 miles an hour. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this one will do it too. But I have a hard time believing that they like staying there, you know, camped out there long term. But maybe this top end can handle it because it has a 48 tooth sprocket on the back, which the stock would have been 51, which these RPMs will probably change eventually because I'm going to end up putting the 51 sprocket back on the back wheel. It's only because this bike is very sluggish taking off when riding two up. So I think that's probably what I'll do, put a 51 on the back. Maybe it's a good thing they like to cruise at those speeds because, like I said, old bikes have crappy brakes, and God forbid you get into a situation where you got to stop all of a sudden when you're going 80 miles an hour or 75 miles an hour or however fast you're going. I hope that deputy don't come get me because I don't have a turn signal. Oh well. Nope, he's not interested. Oh, it might help if I turn my lights on if I want to be seen. From what I understand, you want to keep your motor between 2,000 to 3,000 RPMs. It looks like that's the operating range between 55 and 70 for this bike. And that might change because I bought a 51 tooth sprocket for the rear wheel. It's running a 48 right now. I wanted some longer legs for the highway, but apparently it doesn't like to run a 48 when me and the missus are running, so it tends to lug taking off. And I know that it can't be good for the bottom end. I mean, it's not the fastest taking off with just me on it too. I mean, it's better, but I think I'm just going to go with the stock configuration because I want to get the most out of this motor I can. I'm not talking about performance-wise, which performance is nice, but I want to get the most life out of it I can. I'm not all that anxious to start tearing the engine apart. You know what I mean? I mean, I want to ride the thing for a while before it comes to that. So maybe that's why I was told to keep it under 65 because of the stock configuration. But yeah, enough of my yammering. I'm just going to go ahead and see you guys at the house. At least I got a good idea what kind of speed I'm doing per the RPM, depending on what gear I'm in. But yeah, 60 miles an hour is about 2,500 RPMs. 65 is between 2,500 and 3,000, and 3,000 RPMs is 70. Okay, I got you. Right on. And we're now back at the garage. We're actually back here in the house as I'm editing this video. But, oh, and it looks like I have a little dust on my camera lens. Okay, got it fixed. But before this battery dies, hopefully I can say this before the battery dies, I got a couple of trips planned in October, and one is at Barber's Vintage Motorsports Museum, which is the vintage motorcycle races. That's coming up in October, and the missus and I are going to be there. Leave comments down below if you're going to be there. That's our plan. And also in Mount Enterprise, Texas, at Yellow Rose Canyon Campground, there's going to be Born Free Texas, and that's what we're going to do also, which is the weekend before Halloween weekend. So leave comments down below if you're going to go there. I don't know why I'm saying this, because I normally don't announce where I'm going to go all the time. I just wanted to have a good old outro. So anyway, guys, as always, I'm going to leave you with this. You guys keep the rubber side down, and you be good to yourselves. Thanks a lot.